The story of Sherlock Holmes begins in the bustling streets of Victorian London, a city filled with fog, horse-drawn carriages, gas lamps, and the endless hum of urban life. Within this maze of cobblestones and shadowed alleyways, a singular mind rises above all others. Sherlock Holmes is not merely a detective. He is a phenomenon of observation, logic, and intellect. A man who notices what everyone else overlooks and discerns what most cannot even imagine. It is through his eyes and the loyal narration of Dr. John Watson that the mysteries of London and beyond unfold. The city itself becomes a character, a living entity that both conceals and reveals secrets to those capable of seeing with more than just their eyes. Dr. Watson, newly returned from military service, is seeking a place to reside after the hardships of war. His path crosses with that of Sherlock Holmes, a man of peculiar habits and unparalleled deductive reasoning. Holmes, eccentric yet brilliant, is a figure whose methods are as unconventional as they are effective. He is fascinated by human behavior, chemical reactions, and the minute details that most would dismiss. Their partnership begins with curiosity and evolves into a lifelong alliance, one that would tackle some of the most puzzling, bewildering, and thrilling cases in literary history. The first significant case that brings them together involves the shocking murder of Enoch Drebber. The body is found in an abandoned house, and the circumstances surrounding the death are as mysterious as they are unsettling. Holmes immediately sets to work, examining the minutest details, the pattern of footprints, the ash of tobacco, the position of the body. Nothing escapes his scrutiny. Through his observations, he uncovers a tale of revenge that spans continents, revealing hidden motives and a dark past connected to a distant land. Watson documents every step, providing insight into Holmes' thought process while marveling at the clarity and precision of his deductions. This initial adventure, captured in the tale of A Study in Scarlet, sets the tone for the partnership, combining danger, intellect, and moral reflection. Following this, Holmes and Watson face the intricacies of the Sign of Four. Here, Dr. Watson encounters Mary Morstan, a woman whose life is entwined with secrets, missing treasures, and complex family histories. Pearls arrive mysteriously, accompanied by enigmatic letters, and Holmes is drawn into a web of coded messages, hidden pathways, and dangerous conspiracies. The story spans the bustling streets of London, the shadowy banks of the River Thames, and ultimately the confrontation with a criminal mind as clever as it is ruthless. Through this, Watson falls in love, providing a human and emotional counterpoint to Holmes' unwavering focus on deduction and logic. The narrative demonstrates Holmes' ability to combine observation with strategy, foresight, and moral reasoning, always maintaining a sense of calm precision, even in the face of peril. As the adventures continue, the collection of short stories known as The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes presents a series of captivating cases, each unique in its challenge. Irene Adler, the woman who outwits Holmes, emerges in A Scandal in Bohemia as a figure who commands respect for her intellect and cunning. In The Red-Headed League, a bizarre employment scheme conceals a clever criminal plot, demonstrating Holmes' ability to unravel deception hidden beneath mundane circumstances. A Case of Identity explores the masks people wear and the motives that drive them, while The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle transforms a stolen gem into a narrative of holiday charm and unexpected detective brilliance. Each tale emphasizes Holmes' attention to detail, his analytical rigor, and the ingenuity required to confront the unexpected. The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes take the audience deeper into his extraordinary mind. The Musgrave ritual illustrates a centuries-old puzzle encoded in a family tradition, hiding secrets that only Holmes could uncover. Reigate Squires presents the cunning concealment of crime in plain sight, revealing that vigilance and reasoning are often more powerful than brute force. The final problem introduces Professor Moriarty, the criminal mastermind whose intellect rivals Holmes' own. Their confrontation at the Reichenbach Falls is legendary, symbolizing the eternal struggle between order and chaos, intellect and malice. Holmes' apparent fall shocks the world, leaving both Watson and readers grappling with the fragility of even the most brilliant mind in the face of danger. In the subsequent collection, The Return of Sherlock Holmes, Conan Doyle revives the detective with ingenuity. Holmes' survival is revealed in The Adventure of the Empty House, marking a triumphant return and a renewal of mystery. Cases such as the Norwood Builder and The Adventure of the Dancing Men further display the detective's unmatched ability to solve problems that confound others. Cryptic codes, intricate plots, and hidden messages test Holmes' reasoning, requiring both mental agility and patience. Each narrative immerses the listener in a world of Victorian detail, human behavior, and the eternal interplay of knowledge and intuition. The stories often blend personal insight with intricate investigation. Holmes' methods are meticulous, relying on observation, deduction, disguise, and scientific reasoning. Watson's role as chronicler provides both exposition and emotional context, grounding Holmes' intellectual feats in human experience. Together, they traverse the streets of London, rural estates, and the outer reaches of England, encountering criminals, innocents, and the morally ambiguous alike. Social commentary, ethical dilemmas, and reflections on human nature are woven into the narrative, elevating each story beyond simple crime-solving into explorations of society, psychology, and morality. After Holmes' dramatic return in The Return of Sherlock Holmes, the streets of London once again became a stage for his remarkable detective work. Each case tested his unparalleled intellect as he applied logic, observation, and scientific reasoning to unravel mysteries that baffled everyone else. Holmes's methods often seemed almost supernatural to those who did not understand the meticulous thought behind them. It was in these stories that the depth of his skill became most apparent, and the world of Victorian London seemed both familiar and strange, filled with the hidden motives and subtle deceptions that only Holmes could detect. Among these cases, The Adventure of the Norwood Builder stands out for its deceptive simplicity. A young solicitor accused of murder appears trapped by circumstance, yet Holmes quickly discerns the hidden narrative by observing minutiae that others overlook. The footprints, the arrangement of furniture, and even the state of the surrounding streets all contribute to his solution. In The Adventure of the Dancing Men, Holmes confronts a code so intricate that it requires not only logic, but pattern recognition, patience, and a deep understanding of human psychology. Each story demonstrates the remarkable interplay between intellect and human behavior that defines Holmes' investigations. Holmes's attention to disguise and social observation is showcased in stories such as The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle and A Scandal in Bohemia. In these narratives, he demonstrates that understanding people, their fears, desires, and tendencies is just as vital as noticing the physical evidence. Irene Adler, forever known as the Woman in Holmes' memory, exemplifies the challenge of a mind equal to his own. Holmes admires her intellect, and the encounter reveals the subtleties of human respect, admiration, and the delicate balance of emotion and logic in his otherwise rational life. The adventures of Sherlock Holmes are followed by the Memoirs, where cases such as the Musgrave Ritual and the Reigate Squires further emphasize Holmes's ability to decode historical puzzles, family secrets, and patterns that elude ordinary detectives. These stories blend adventure with intellectual challenge, and Holmes's triumphs often highlight the importance of patience, reasoning, and the courage to pursue truth even when it is hidden in plain sight. It is within these mysteries that readers and listeners begin to fully appreciate the detective's genius, as he consistently resolves conflicts that seem impossible to others. Holmes's encounter with Professor Moriarty in The Final Problem represents the pinnacle of intellectual rivalry. Moriarty is the embodiment of criminal genius, a man whose mind matches Holmes's own, yet applies it to chaos and malice. Their confrontation at Reichenbach Falls is legendary, not only for its danger, but for the philosophical undertones, the struggle between order and disorder, logic and deception. Holmes's apparent demise at the Falls creates a void in London's crime fighting, leaving both Watson and the public in suspense, underscoring the significance of his presence and the fear inspired by his absence. The return of Sherlock Holmes brings Holmes back, surviving the encounter with Moriarty. The adventure of the empty house begins with his dramatic reappearance and the immediate resumption of detective work. From the intricacies of political intrigue to seemingly simple domestic mysteries, Holmes's mind is always alert. The adventure of the Norwood Builder and the adventure of the Dancing Men demonstrate his ability to tackle complex puzzles that challenge conventional reasoning while maintaining calm and precision under pressure. Each case showcases the detective's analytical methods, from close observation to the interpretation of behavior, language, and context. In His Last Bow, Holmes engages in espionage to protect England during a period of international tension. The stories in this collection are set against a backdrop of political unrest and global stakes, demonstrating Holmes' adaptability and relevance even as times change. He uses his intellect and deductive skill to safeguard the nation, proving that intellect, discipline, and moral clarity are enduring tools for navigating both crime and conflict. His partnership with Watson continues to provide insight into Holmes's character, as Watson chronicles both the technical brilliance of his investigations and the subtle humanity that underpins his actions. Throughout the entire collection, Holmes's brilliance is never merely for show. Each case, each encounter, and each puzzle serves as a study in human behavior, societal norms, and the application of reason to unravel deception. Whether confronting petty criminals, elaborate conspiracies, or dangerous masterminds, Holmes remains a symbol of intellectual rigor, moral clarity, and the pursuit of justice. Watson's narration allows listeners not only to follow the steps of each deduction, but to experience the wonder of witnessing true genius at work. The stories also explore the social fabric of Victorian England. From the wealthy elite to the struggling poor, from the bustling streets to the hidden corners of the city, Conan Doyle captures a world of contrasts. Holmes moves seamlessly among these layers, using knowledge, observation, and reasoning to bring clarity where others see only confusion. His methods often illuminate broader truths about human nature, showing how greed, ambition, love, and fear drive behavior. The interplay of these human elements with rational analysis forms the heart of every story. As the audiobook progresses, listeners are guided through the evolution of Holmes's character. Early cases highlight his intellectual curiosity and analytical skills, while later stories reveal his moral compass, sense of justice, and occasional glimpses of personal reflection. Watson, as narrator, provides warmth, empathy, and insight, balancing Holmes's sometimes cold logic with human understanding. Together, their partnership forms a narrative bridge between the extraordinary and the relatable, making each story compelling, engaging, and memorable. The culmination of the collection, including the later short stories and novels, demonstrates that Holmes's brilliance endures despite time, danger, and complexity. His influence stretches beyond the fictional streets of London, inspiring generations of detectives, writers, and thinkers. The meticulous attention to detail, the structured reasoning, and the moral undertones of justice and truth make the complete Sherlock Holmes collection a timeless treasure of literature. From the earliest cases in A Study in Scarlet, through the intricate short stories, the thrilling confrontations with Moriarty, and the espionage adventures of His Last Bow, Sherlock Holmes exemplifies the power of intellect, observation, and moral clarity. Each story builds upon the last, creating a tapestry of intrigue, deduction, and human experience. Listeners experience not just the resolution of mysteries, but a journey into the very fabric of Victorian society, the human psyche, and the eternal pursuit of knowledge and justice. The legacy of Sherlock Holmes endures because these stories are more than mere detective tales. They are explorations of reason, morality, and human complexity. They show that curiosity, discipline, and empathy are as crucial to understanding the world as intelligence. Holmes and Watson together guide the listener through a landscape of mystery, danger, and revelation, teaching that every detail, no matter how small, has significance, and every observation can illuminate truth. In conclusion, the complete Sherlock Holmes audiobook collection offers an unparalleled journey through Victorian London, human psychology, and timeless mysteries. It invites listeners to walk alongside the greatest detective of all time, to witness the triumphs of intellect, and to engage with stories that continue to captivate and inspire. Through Holmes and Watson, we are reminded that logic, observation, and moral integrity are eternal tools in the pursuit of justice, and that even in the fog of uncertainty, clarity can always be found.